Hello everyone and welcome to Dragonmount. I'm Thom DeSimone. I'm going to be talking to you today doing our too long didn't read version of my hot takes and cold takes for the Wheel of Time show, episode 6, Eyes Without Pity. Spoiler-free review, so if you have any friends out there that don't like book spoilers, or if you yourself don't like them, welcome. If you're okay with book spoilers, if you haven't read the series, or if you have read the series, go over and check out our other videos on our channel. We have everything labeled pretty well for book spoilers. Our lives, most of the most recent ones, will have a logo in the corner of the screen that says which book level spoilers they are, and we're trying to get really good about keeping that all labeled for everybody. And as always, big shout out to our sponsor, to our books, as well as everyone over on our Patreon. If you haven't already, go check out our Patreon. There's a lot of really fun stuff on there, and we're going to be uploading new stuff every month. All right, without further ado, let's jump in. I'm going to give you some of my cold takes now and some hot takes as well, but you'll be able to tell when I do those, I think. Time for some hot takes. So first up, I got to triple down on Ebony as a dark friend. Come at me. Let me know why she isn't, if anyone thinks she isn't. Like, I'm fully sold on Ebony as a dark friend. Every single time she appears and talks on screen, I am further convinced that she is a dark friend. I've seen a lot of hate for Darrell as Matt, and I don't understand the reasoning behind it. I think it's just another thing for people not to like. I've seen very little, if any, like, constructive criticism. It's just, like, more toxicity. But if anyone has any constructive criticism on why they don't like Darrell as Matt, go ahead and tell me. But my hot take here is I love Darrell Flynn as Matt, and other than most of the other Watt content creators, I haven't seen a single like untoxic reason why people don't like Darrell as Matt. And not comparing him to Barney Harris. Like, a reason why you don't like him without comparing him to Barney Harris. That's what I want to see. Finally, I think not having Perrin in this episode at all was perfect. I think that was a great choice. It makes us wonder what he's doing at this point. Like, is he being chased by White Cloaks? Is he, like what's happening? Like, we don't know what's happening to him. I think it allows the writers and the director here to focus on the other characters, and really gave Madeleine, aka Egwene, like, her time to shine here on in this episode. Like, not in the sense of what's happening to her, but in the sense of her acting abilities and her range. Like, if we don't see Madeleine in many, many more things, I would be surprised. This episode felt very much like a prelude to what's coming. The Shadow is winning in a lot of aspects of this episode. We have some really interesting shots, a little bit of backstory on some of the Forsaken, specifically Lanfear and her calling Rand-al'Thor Lews Therin. There's a strong familiarity there. We know that she had a relationship with Lews Therin from prior episodes during the Age of Legends, and how she seems to kind of want to rekindle that while at the same time kill Rand. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we'll see. The Seanchan, we love to hate them. They're very good looking, like in their costuming and their design, the architecture that's around them, their makeup, the hair, everything was great, but wow, they're horrible, and I hate them. But, you know, I mean, that's kind of their purpose here. They're meant to kind of like throw a wrench in the whole mechanism of the show and everything that's going on. Just like a wild card, you know, they're not the Shadow per se, even though someone high amongst the Shadow is in a high-ranking position with the Seanchan while not being in direct control. They still are a wild card very much for the Shadow and for the Light, not just one or the other. They kind of muck up everyone's plans, it seems. Matt and Rand being united is beautiful. I love this, like, scene of their embrace and just the two of them getting back together. Then again, the non-toxic masculinity is great to see. Darrell Flynn as Matt Cawthon, really, like, he was selling it you know, in the earlier scenes, but we hadn't seen his interaction with the other Emmons Fielders yet. And this being the first one, I think is perfect. I'm really loving him as Matt Cawthon, and I can't wait to see more of them together. I want to see each of the Emmons Fielders see Matt Cawthon for the first time and see their reactions. We're going to get probably varying reactions depending on the characters, but I can't wait to see their interactions. So far, their on-screen presence and relationship looks great. Their chemistry was great between Yosha and Donald. Now, I usually do like best dressed, best use of the one power, and I have to say best dressed and best use of the one power have to go to Rima Sadai. Oh my god, like with the robe on, without the robe on, when she's fighting, and her fighting, the best use of the one power is that like thing that she's doing where she's got her hands like that and she kind of breaks that one Suldam's back, and also probably inadvertently the Damane. Like, I don't know if she knows how that works, or if she's just kind of come to terms with, like, I got to do this regardless of what's going to happen to the, you know, enslaved woman that's there. But damn, that was a rough weave, and it looked like to be made, like, I'm still unclear on if Spirit is purple or yellow and Air is white or yellow. So it could have just been Air, it could have been her doing something with the Spirit as well, I'm not sure, but whatever she was doing there was just crazy. I mean, she's essentially fighting 3, maybe 4 Damane at the same time. I'm not sure if they're trying to shield her while she's channeling and they're just unable to, or maybe the Shanshin don't know shield, but it was an amazing scene. Her and Basan's fight, amazing. She really resolved herself that she was going to be dying in the next few minutes. When Basan made that knock, you could see it in her face when she got up here, and then you could see it again when she goes outside, and obviously when she asks Basan to kill her. She was probably hoping one of the Damane would do it, but when it seems like they're not trying to kill her, she tries to ask Basan to do it and fails, which is going to be bad. I'm sure this is also going to make Nynaeve feel guilty, because it is kind of her fault. I mean, I hesitate to use the word fault that she got captured, but like her actions did cause this to happen. I don't want to say fault because like it's the Shanshin's fault she got captured, not Nynaeve's, but in the same vein, her actions did cause the sequence of events to occur, so she's going to feel some guilt about that for sure. And I'm hoping that she can resolve that by saving Rima later, if that can happen, but yeah, I'm not sure, and I hope it doesn't mess Nynaeve up too much. Though we did get to see her channel for the first time without being angry, from a yellow no less, with an analogy about healing. I really just think that that further cements the, you know, idea that she's going to end up being a yellow sister and not any other color. I know there's been a lot of talk of her possibly being a red, but yeah, no, I don't think so. I think my favorite quote, another cold take from this is, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have this as their favorite quote, is Lanfear's, "I will flay you alive and feed you to your son." Now, it's horrible, but damn, that is so Lanfear and gang. Like, Natasha O'Keefe's Lanfear is perfection, just absolute perfection. I'm loving every second she is on screen. Just absolutely crazy, you know, and also kind of throwing a little wrench in Ishamael's plans here. Like, you swore your oaths to the dark, not Ishamael. So yeah, just fantastic. We also get to see a little bit, like, we cement the idea that she swore her oaths, Liandrin, to the dark one, with the idea of keeping her son alive. Now, did that mean like curing him of whatever disease he had? No, but maybe like prolonging his death, because we see that the Dark One can do that, so that could be why he's so old and still alive. But now her reason for joining the Shadow is gone, but other than, you know, her whole life of bad, horrible things happening to her, as described by Lanfear in that scene as well. But yeah, no, there's a lot that goes on there, and a deep look into Liandrin, and a deep look into Lanfear, who she really is, because I believe this is the real Lanfear. Like, this is the majority of Lanfear's personality. You know, she's a sociopath, she's a narcissist, she's just evil. Like, she's not a good person, and I think any of that shadow of good that we see with her and Rand is a lie, is just pure manipulation. And then who stole this episode? Gotta go to Madeleine Madden. I mean, not Egwene, Madeleine's acting throughout this entire episode, her anger, her frustration, she's beating the Sul'dam in her vision in her head. She's just horribly crying and in pain and fighting against the manipulations of the Sul'dam, and then the acceptance and the breaking by the Sul'dam at the end when she's finally touching that goblet is just on so many different levels, just so powerful, so powerful, just so good, and I thought it was fantastic. Really, if she doesn't win something for this season, her and Leandrin both, I will be incredibly surprised if at least one of them, if not both of them, win something, some sort of award for this season, because wow, just really wow. All right, and that's all I have for you guys, so thanks for coming and hanging out. I really liked this episode a lot. If you're okay with book spoilers, go check out our other version of this, the deep dive episode, or the long form episode, which is listed on our YouTube channel, and you can read many articles by our lovely authors over on Dragonmount.com, as well as follow Kitty over on TikTok, and we also have a podcast that starts out book spoiler free and then goes into spoilery stuff at the end. They do give a nice warning for that, so be sure to follow them and check them out as well. And may you always find water and shade on the slopes of Dragonmount. Peace.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for sticking around to the end. As always, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button or leave a comment. We like comments, especially positive ones. If you have a friend who enjoys the Wheel of Time, tell them about Dragonmount.com and our show. Special thanks to our show sponsor, Tor Books, as well as to our Patreon supporters. If you want to learn more about how our show is made and get additional insights into Wheel of Time, you can become a Patreon supporter. We have a lot of big plans for the show, and your contribution will go a long way to making them a reality. Be sure to follow Dragonmount on social media, and see you next time!